Former President Trump is headed to our southern border this week, just days after Vice President Kamala Harris finally made her first visit. Trump will make a trip with Texas Governor Greg Abbott and dozens or so special guests, including our next guest, former acting Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Mark Morgan, and Texas Congressman Brian Babin. Congressman Babin is also the co-chair of the House Border Security Caucus. Gentlemen, welcome back to the show.
Great to be with you, Lindsay.
All right, Congressman, I'm going to start with you. We just talked to Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, and we didn't get a lot out of Vice President Kamala Harris' trip to the border, going to El Paso. But, you know, the interesting thing is, while she was there, she basically said that Trump's policies are the root cause of the border crisis that we're seeing right now. And Lauren Boebert said that Trump, what he needs to do when he's down there is find real solutions. But if he does find real solutions, are you going to be able to implement those?
Well, let me tell you, I'm a proud Texan, and our governor has made some comments and started the ball moving so that the state of Texas can actually step into the gap that this absent without leave administration has left our borders wide open. And when Vice President Harris went down there the other day, she was hundreds of miles away. And quite frankly, Biden and Harris have erased our southern border, and maybe that's why she couldn't find it when she went down there the other day. But I can tell you the policies that work down there were already implemented by your other guest, Mark Morgan, working very hard in his capacity in the administration of President Donald Trump. We know what will work down there. It's the Biden administration itself that simply has absolutely violated their oaths of office. They have opened us up to 1 million illegal aliens that have come across in the last year, over the population of the entire states of some U.S. states. It's incredible what they're doing. They're absolutely immoral in what they're doing to the United States of America, to our national security, to the health and safety of the American citizens, and to the safety of these migrants themselves.
And Commissioner Morgan, you said Harris's trip was pure optics, and the former president seems to agree with you. Here's what he had to say.
Kamala Harris, your vice president, only went to the border yesterday for the one simple reason, because I announced that I was going next week, and I am, at the request of Texas Governor Abbott and the Border Patrol. I'm going to the border next week. Oh, if I didn't do that, I don't know if she was ever going to go. I really don't know was she ever going to go? I don't know.
Now, the administration is focused on determining and fixing what they call the root causes of immigration. And you say we've known the root causes for 40 or 50 years. America's just a better country. And if we've known that for so long, why haven't Republican and Democrat administrations, other than the Trump administration, make a significant effort to secure our border for these past few decades?
Well, Logan, I think that's a great question. And first of all, I want to say, Representative Babin, everything you said, I couldn't have said it better myself. And I was there in the Trump administration with a network of initiative, tools, and policy gave us this. The Biden administration inherited the most secure border in modern history. But look, I've also been very honest and direct. You know, for the first 2 years, the Republicans had the House, the Senate, and the White House, and they did not get any piece of meaningful legislation across the board. It took President Trump to give us those tools, authorities, and policies that we needed to effectively secure our border. And look, I want to comment on what President Trump said. Look, once again, the president is spot on. He also understood that securing our borders was much more than just about illegal immigration. President Trump understood that if we open our borders to one crisis or one threat, we're opening our border to every crisis and every threat. It's not just about illegal immigration. If we open our borders to illegal immigration, we're opening our borders to criminal aliens coming into our country. We're opening our borders to gang members, to drugs pouring into our country. Representative Babin and I, we've had many conversations, and this is why we say every town, city, and state in this country is a border town, city, and state. President Trump understood that. That's why he gave us the tools, and that's why this administration inherited the most secure border, and they dismantled it all.
Yeah, and speaking about one of the crises, it's guns. And Congressman, you and 8 other members of Congress have signed a letter urging Texas Governor Abbott to fight against Biden administration's gun agenda. But this is at the same time that AR-15s and AK-47s, they're coming across our border in droves. An estimated 200,000 firearms are smuggled across our southern border every year. So if you break that down, that's 500 a day. Do you think this administration is focused on the wrong gun crisis right now?
There is no question at all about that, Lindsay. They are focused on everything wrong. They all, as I said earlier, they always seem to put America last. And Biden's targeting law-abiding gun owners. And I was proud to sign this letter by my Texas colleague, Chip Roy. And Biden's executive actions, they're the only thing that they can pass, because legislatively that would be impossible for the Democrats to do this. And we have always got to defend Texans against the unconstitutional infringement of President Biden's rogue federal government. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to open us up to a national gun registry. And I support any efforts that our governor can take under our new sanctuary, our Second Amendment sanctuary laws, to prohibit state funding from flowing to any Texas agency or political subdivision that attempts in any way to infringe upon the Second Amendment rights of Texans. And I thank the governor and our state legislators for doing this. And let me say one thing else. We talk about gun control as a messaging tactic for the Democrats, but it's clearly that it doesn't work, because over the weekend, Chicago had who has some of the strictest gun laws in the entire country. They had 70 people shot over the weekend. Go figure.
Yeah, we were talking about that with Congressman Lauren Boebert, unfortunately. Right. It's sad to see, that a lot of these gun rules that we already have are not being enforced.
That's right. And then, Commissioner Morgan, to you, Title 42 is set to expire July 31st, and the Border Patrol Union is worried that this will lead to even more chaos at the border. Now, Congressman Babin and I actually were at the border in Texas together in March, and we saw the flood of people coming over then, and the toll it was taking on those agents. So what will the impact be if Title 42 is not upheld?
Logan, look, this is very critically important. First of all, what we're talking about is the CDC order that was implemented to actually prevent and reduce the further introduction of COVID-19 into our country from outside our borders. Representative Babin is spot on. This is yet another action by this administration that put Americans last. What this means now is anyone, families, unaccompanied minors coming to our border, whether they have COVID or not, they're going to be released into the interior United States. We're sending a message, not just to Mexico, the Northern Triangle countries. We're sending a message to the entire world now that our borders are wide open. Catch and release is back on. And believe me, the human smugglers know it, and the immigrants themselves know it. And it's absolutely clear that this is another step forward to continue to open our borders.
Commissioner, Congressman, thank you so much for being here. We'll have to check back in with you after your visit to the border with President Trump. Appreciate you going back down there and shedding light on this issue and this crisis that our borders experience. Hope to have you back soon.
Thank you, Lindsay and Logan.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.